Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bigger Than Race, exposure to all things truth, whether you like it or not, with unique perspectives from different beings from all walks of life. This is Bigger Than Race. Investigate truth on your own terms.
All right, good deal. So let's get this party started. Again, my name is Sean Campbell, and before we dive into the meat of this, I'll just tell you a bit about myself. I've been doing crypto ever since the lockdown. I've been passionately learning and growing in the area of crypto. And, simultaneously, I'm retiring right now from the military after 23 years, and I'm finishing up as a command sergeant major for the state of Florida here. So like Brando said earlier, the show me state, that's how we operate in the military as well. So I'll be officially out next month. And one of my goals, I'm not trying to go back to the workforce. So I'd rather just make a living doing what I'm passionate about. And that's just being an investor and meeting cool people and doing cool things. So as far as my journey and how it ties, and that's one of the questions we have too, but how my journey ties into how we got to this point. I've been investing in crypto for years, and it hasn't all been good. I had my share of scams. I had my share of rug pulls. I've had my share of, things that doesn't represent the optimal things you want to experience when you come into a crypto environment. So, but you take all that stuff, it doesn't stop me from moving forward and just seeing opportunities when they present themselves. And I'm just fortunate, and I'm actually happy that I went through what I went through when it came to the ups and downs of crypto, because if I didn't go through, a hack and some other things, I might not have bumped into the opportunity to do seed investing. I may have been focused in another direction. So I count it all joy. And at the end of the day, personally, I've been a seed investor for almost this entire year. I think I started up late January. With a company called Cryptopia. And from there, I was able to just have some great experiences, some experiences that I was able to, turn into confidence and share with others and pair that up with some ideals. And that's, kind of just a bit about myself. I've been having good experiences with this. So we talked about it. I shared this with Brando, and Brando loved to, seeing the light, seeing the vision. And one thing led to another, and we presented additional ideas on seed investing, and we were able to get it to this point right here. And for those who are in the BTR community, congratulations once again, because you got to test pilot what we're presenting today, which is you got a taste of the Cogito seed investments, and you did a great job. Point where I want to thank you once again for giving us all this opportunity to invest in these NFTs that we're going to present today. So I just wanted to say that, and let's dive into these slides. And I'm gonna go ahead and next slide, Brendo. All right, so what are we going to talk about today? We are going to do a BTRARMY NFT overview. We're going to talk about what is the NFT past. I understand we have new faces and new people that's learning about this opportunity for the first time today. So I will speak from the basics, and some of this stuff you may have heard before. But as you can see, we got some images to go along with what we've been talking about as well. So these are some prototype NFTs that you are looking at. They are not the official, but these are what you should be expecting how the NFTs should be looking as we roll those things out. Okay, somebody can mute themselves, and one more thing, take some notes, and please ask your questions after we get to the through the brief, and we'll answer all your questions, and then from there. But as far as this overview, we're going to talk about what the BTRARMY Pass is. We're going to talk about the benefits, and we're going to go over the details of the General and Special Forces NFTs that we're going to discuss. And then after that, we're going to pause, and we're going to take a pivot towards an AMA session, because definitely understand, and we want to answer all your questions. So from there, let's go on to the next slide. All right, so here you go. the Bigger Than Race Army NFT collection. All right, so we have two types of NFTs that we are offering. The first one is a general, and that's going for $1,800. And the second one is a Special Forces NFT, and that's going for $525 right there. So the question you should be asking yourself is, some of you may be asking, what is an NFT? And it stands for non-fungible token. But what does this NFT do for you? Okay, and that's what you should ask yourself for every NFT that you look at. What can it do for me? And for this one, the utility involved, it gives you access. It gives you access to the earliest stage of crypto investing, known as seed investment. There are 5 stages of investing, and seed just happens to be the earliest stage, and the early bird gets the worm. So with that said, we have 150, there will be 150 generals. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Once those 150 are gone, no more. It's not going to be 175, 200, that's it. And then we have 500 Special Force NFTs. Okay, so it's a little bit more of those. And we'll go into the characteristics as we dive forward. But the main thing is they give you access to seed round allocations. That's a word you're going to hear a lot if you become a seed investor and participate in these NFTs. But the general will give you a $5,000 allocation, and the Special Forces will give you a $750 allocation to a seed round investment opportunity. So why is this so good to have that? And we'll talk about the benefits in a second, but the main thing, just to put it in perspective, if you look at a token, a particular token, it may come out to the public and people get excited about it, and they may pay 25 cents per token. And and they get what they get, and they hope the coin goes up. Well, there's some things that happen prior to that public launch. We have launch pads that offer IDOs. We have white listings. We have private sales. And as you go down the rabbit hole, you have seed round sales. And the seed investor, who typically has to be well connected, they've gotten that same coin that was presented for 25 cents. They got it for maybe 5 cents. Okay. A lot on this call here, you may be familiar with a project called Hypercycles, probably the most bullish AI coin that's coming out right now. And if you were a seed investor in that, 2.5 cents. That's the power of seed investing. You make profit the day it launches. Okay. Another thing to point out on this before we move on to the benefits. Okay. There's some things you need to understand on how does seed investment works. The first thing is they have a token generation event. So first thing as a seed investor, you're going to say, hey, here's the price of the token, whatever that's going to be. And then they're going to tell you, you will have information on when is that token, how much allocation will you receive the day that the token is launched to the public. So typically you might get 5%, 10%, 15%. It all varies based on the project that's being invested in. That can vary. But let's just say you invest in a token and you get 10% out of the 100% that you invested in as a seed investor. So that means you get 10% of your tokens the day the coin comes out. That's important to know because you can take that 10%, you can cash it out, take some profit, and roll it back into the next seed round investment and keep that process going on so you can diversify your portfolio. But you want to be familiar with the word TGE, token generation event. What date is that going to occur? Okay, the next thing you want to be aware of is what is called a cliff. Every time you invest in a seed, as a seed investor, you have to be familiar with what is the cliff. So that can be 2 months, 6 months. It can be 18 months. It just depends. No, 6 months is typically the longest it's going to go. Take it to scratch out the 18. But 6 months is typically the longest the cliff is. And that's just the period where you're just holding, you're not getting any of the coins airdrop to you. Okay, you're just waiting. Now, if we gave all the coins to you up front, if you received all your tokens up front as a seed investor, you could literally tank the market because you have a buyer's advantage. You have a lot of tokens, basically. And to keep the token that you're invested in strong, we don't get all the tokens. We have a cliff. That gives the token a chance to marinate with the public and build some steam up. And then we start what we call a vesting period. Okay, a vesting period, simply put, every single day for 12 months, 18 months, whatever it's going to be, every day you're going to get airdropped tokens into your wallet until you reach 100%. Okay, so those, whether, you know, the TGE, token generation event, you have a cliff, and then you have the vesting period. That's how seed investment works for those who are just getting on this call for the first time. But for the rest of us, that's just a reminder. Now, one note on this NFT collection, the price for the generals will increase by $200 for every 20 mints. The other thing to point out about these two NFTs, when you do a comparison, I'm not here to knock the competition. I think launch pads are amazing. There's a lot of talk about launch pads. Launch pads, when you compare, there is no comparison. As a seed investment, a seed investor, we're way before the launch pad. The launch pad price could be 2, 3, 4, 5 times more expensive than what you get it as a seed investor. And the price that you get it as a launchpad investor actually is a good price. Like right now, I use, again, Hypercycle as an example. I would jump on that if I needed to. If I did, you know, because you're still getting it before the public launch. Because when it launches to the public, it's probably going to go up a lot.
Sean,
yes.
I just got some bullish news.
Yes.
Regarding Hypercycle.
Yes.
Would take everybody in this group to the next level. But I'm going to let you continue. And we have Richie joining in on the call.
Oh, great. Great.
He's in now.
Got me hyped. All right. So next slide. And that's great. I didn't know Richie was going. That's a great deal. So, all right. So let's talk about the benefits. Let's talk about the benefits of being an NFT holder. Some of you may have heard, but you want to be very mindful of these, because this is what you get in return. This is the utility of your NFT. Early access to high potential projects. As a BTR NFT holder, you get exclusive access to seed round investments in tier 1 projects, allowing you to invest in promising startups before they gain wider market recognition. Let me interpret that for you. You'll basically be like a wizard. You will be able, your ability to predict what's going to happen in the market and see what's going to happen, your accuracy will increase because you got in the project way before it launched, way before the marketing hit. And as a seed investor, you're knowledgeable of that. But either way, it's just something that comes along with the experience. Next, high returns potential. By investing at the seed stage, you can potentially benefit from substantial returns as the value of the project grows over time, should the project succeed. Research shows the average seed investor that simply invest with a good, solid long-term plan, they on average experience 40x returns. Compared in that same study to 6x for somebody buying at a higher stage that plays the game right. And we get happy. It's not a person on this call, if their crypto goes up 50%, they probably call in somebody, got a little pep in the step, and that's good. You should, and it does feel good. But as a seed investor, it's a different ball game. Public launch, you already won. And that's how you can experience this through these NFTs. Next up, diversification. I kind of touched on that earlier. Through the token generation event, you will be provided a percentage of your tokens up front, and you can do as you please with those tokens. You can sell them, you can hold them, whatever. But one technique people do is a lot of us just go ahead and take some profit, and then we go ahead and diversify and get ready for the next seed round opportunity. Now, this is just my personal experience. Just the TGE alone, which is, I think was about 10 or 15%, I can't recall exactly. But my TGE alone, I got my entire return on investment that I put into Rejuve, which is a bullish singularity net project. And I was able to get ready for the next project. And, so keeping that reciprocal up is what a lot of us try to do to the best of our ability. Next slide. Additional bells and whistles with your NFTs. You're going to reduce your investment barriers. Again, when you do the comparison, I love Launchpads. I think SDAO, you can never have enough of that token. I love that token. But when you compare the degree of difficulty to what we experience as seed investors, it's just different. The pressure is reduced immensely in comparison because we're not racing against the entire world. We're not racing against robots. It's all in our community. And we have left and right time limits to operate in comfortably. We still have a sense of urgency. But at the end of the day, when you do the comparison, I don't feel that stress I used to feel when I was out in the open. Okay, so networking opportunities. Participating in seed round investments may provide opportunities to network with other early stage investors, potentially leading to further investment opportunities. The people that you all are on the verge to meet, including myself, including Brando, including Mike, and others, birds of a feather flock together. It's a lot of just good people that want to experience crypto in a good way, and we feed off each other's energy, and we're going to create a hive mind. We're going to create a community that encourages one another and supports one another. And, as we grow, part of the vision, hey, let's meet up in Las Vegas, let's meet up in this cool island or whatever. And do what strong communities do. But you will have good networking opportunities just naturally that comes from socializing and interacting with other seed investors. Influence and impact. As an early investor, you will have the potential to earn or to help shape the direction and growth of tier 1 projects by providing feedback, resources, and membership to the team behind the project. Again, not every project, but you'll be privy to exclusive AMAs sometimes. You will have information or some type of, they might ask for the group's opinion on the direction of a project or what do we think. We get to voice our opinions and give feedback way before the public does. So that's what we mean by influence and impact. And if you have a bright idea that can shape the future, again, all that stuff happens at the early stages, as we collect our thoughts. Next. Okay, so enhanced reputation. Being an NFT holder that grants access to seed investments in tier 1 projects can enhance your reputation within the blockchain community. Interpretation, you're going to be smarter for it. You're going to experience crypto investing in a whole nother way. And it just, and people will feel that. You're going to have a certain confidence about you because you're not as at risk as the general society that's investing. So it just comes along with the territory. Exclusive updates and information. As an NFT holder, you may receive exclusive updates and insights about the projects you invest in, giving you a deeper understanding of their progress and potential. Hypercycle, for example, through Richie's efforts and the Cryptopia team, seed investors, we get AMAs that never even hit the general public, which gives us great insights. And when you take those insights, you just experience life differently. You go on a Telegram and you see people conversating and you're like, they're kind of off on that, but they'll be all right. And you kind of, you have opportunity to set the record straight too. But bottom line, you're going to get exclusive updates, and that's an advantage that you will have, so you can navigate, make decisions on a deeper level. Asset appreciation. The NFT itself may appreciate in value over time as demand for the access to the seed round investments increases, providing ROI. That's one of the questions as far as the AMA portion. I'll go ahead and touch it now. But yes, the NFTs can and will be from time to time on OpenSea and other platforms. They will have, interface with those, and yes, they will have resale value. Now, to put this in perspective and do a comparison, I want you to think, for those who are familiar, think about what's going on right now with Singularity DAO Launchpad. If you want a $1,300 to $1,600 allocation, not only do you have to race the world to get qualified, but you also have to tie up between $15,000, $17,000 roughly, so you can get a $1,300 to $1,600 allocation. If I did not know about seed investing, I would gladly do that and be very, very, very happy. But it's no comparison when you look at it as a seed investor. $1,800, general NFT, lifetime access. As long as you hold that NFT, you will continually get project after project presented to you year after year. And the allocation, by the way, $5,000 versus $1,300 to $1,600, depending if you stake, because you got a staking requirement, staking AGIX, or are you staking SDAO? So when you dive deeper into that asset appreciation we're talking, you can get 3 generals, probably 4 generals, for the same amount of money you would have to put aside and have a $20,000 allocation, and if you put the same financial effort that's required for a launch pad. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So what I'm getting at is that NFT, the NFT holders, imagine when the bull market comes out. Imagine when there's a demand much higher than what it is right now for earlier opportunities. You can turn around, the sky's the limit on the resale value of these NFTs. So keep that in mind. Long-term value. Last one, owning an NFT that provides lifetime access to seed round investments means you can benefit from access for years to come. We already touched on that, self-explanatory. Next slide. All right, so let's go over some details. Again, a lot of the stuff you've heard before, we're just reiterating it with some prototype pictures. All right, so first off, priority access, let's talk about the general $1,800, priority access to tier 1 private sales, pre-sales, and of course, seed sales, okay? So you got priority access, and then you have guaranteed allocations up to $5,000 per NFT held. And yes, there's a minimum think it's like 50 bucks or so. It's something that you wouldn't even bother investing if you went that low. But nevertheless, maximum allocation is 5K. Then there's only 150 of those. That's about scarce as you can get. And we're going to, and that's the way it's designed to be. Starting price, 1,800, increase every 20 so. Special forces, access to tier 1 projects. Get the same opportunities. You have access to the same opportunities, but they're not guaranteed. They're first come, first serve, up to $750 per NFT. Okay, again, compare that $750 allocation to what SDAO's, the launchpad for SDAO's offering right now. $750, you probably want to tie out thousands of dollars. And again, whoever's doing that, they're going to be very happy because they're not privy to these type of opportunities that you are fortunate to be, get shared with today. Strictly limited to 500, and the starting price is $525 per NFT. Step 4, or simple 4-step minting process. There's a lot of questions. Hey, are these NFTs generated? Preparation for the NFTs. Obviously, they're not out today, and they will not be out tomorrow. So you still have time. That's why we're having this call. We want to make sure you're aware and you're prepared. So the best thing you can do to prepare right now for these NFTs, if you see the light and see the vision and willing to trust, USDC or USDT on Ethereum blockchain. You need to have that in the amount for the NFT that you're going after. I would suggest you probably have a little more because I can't predict if you're going to be one of the first 20 or not. Also, you need some Ethereum for gas. The question would be, how much Ethereum should I have for gas? Of course, it varies, but if you have 30 bucks in there, that should be more than enough to complete a basic NFT minting process. It should be more than enough. But we know how Ethereum can get sometimes, so. Okay, so step 1, prepare your funds. We just talked about that. Step 2, MetaMask is the recommended preferred wallet according to the website. Not according to me, according to the website. So I have no problem, just sticking to what the website says. I encourage everybody to do MetaMask. There are other wallets out there that probably are better. But I'm just telling you what website was, what wallet was recommended to correspond with the overall process when it comes to the pre-sale website. And that is MetaMask. Will other wallets work? I'm assuming they will, but I can tell you 90% of the, I'm just throwing a percentage out there, but a very high percentage of, most of us use MetaMask and we have no issues using that. So when it comes time to troubleshoot somebody, if it's needed, then we just, we're doing it from that standpoint a lot of times. But, I'm not saying you can't use another wallet. Next up, access the dedicated dApp. Okay. We're going to provide you a link for those, it'll be a link available where you go and it'll take you straight to the minting site, same minting site that everybody else has been using, the seed investors use right now. And you will be, you have your USDC and all that stuff. You connect your wallet and you pay your little gas fees and you'll receive your BTR NFT on your MetaMask or whatever wallet you have it on. Okay. So that's how that works. That's how that works. So I'm good on that slide.
Sean, the process should be as easy as wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Yes, yes, it's very simple. I will elaborate on that right there because that's part of, it's kind of make the AMA that much smoother. So obviously you want to get your NFT. That's always step one. Once you have your NFT, the next thing you need to do is go to the Discord. We'll provide the link as soon as we're, officially ready, which will be very, very soon. Like, are we still potentially looking like next week, Brando?
Yeah, yes, sir.
All
Especially
right, so
after
this week coming up, today's Saturday, so brand new week starting tomorrow, and within that week, you will have a link to the Discord. And if you have an NFT, you can take that NFT and you will have a spot on the Discord that will say verify your NFT. And then it will, identify you have a special forces or a general, and then that will give you the certain accesses you need on the Discord to access certain information in certain sections. From there, we also have the KYC requirements on the Discord. After you verify your NFT, you click on KYC, it will take you to a very simplified process. We're going to ask you 3 self-confirmation questions. You check all 3 boxes, then you'll be KYC. And then after that, you've completed the process and you'll be ready for your first seed investment opportunity, which we will be presenting to you shortly after, a few days after. Not putting a time limit on it, but it'll be very soon. You won't be waiting months for sure. You'll be waiting a matter of days before you get your first seed investment opportunity. And it's going to be a very bullish project.
yes.
Yeah, it's going to be a very bullish project. So I don't want to.
Sean, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Not to cut you, but just on that, I know the first opportunity we talked about was Sophiaverse. But I just got some news fresh off the press from our partners, and we have been notified that we would get the opportunity, highly possible. It's like 99.9%. We're just waiting on the confirmation, the last little tick, that we will get seed round opportunity into Hypercycle. They'll be bringing it back for the BTR community.
Okay, so
that's nodes included.
All right, so
and I got Richie on the line to verify that.
Outside of Richie, I'm the Hypercycle master on this. On that is bullish as it get. That alone is worth these NFTs. Congratulations for those free congratulations for anybody ended up getting these NFTs. That is the #1 bullish project you can possibly think of. And yeah, it's a lot of cool YouTube videos out there. Nobody's going to have more bullish content than what you just heard. That is huge. That is absolutely huge. I appreciate that, Brandon. That's perfect timing. We can go on to the last slide before we open it up. But yeah, that is fantastic. Again, just giving you a prelude to the quality of NFTs that will be presented. Okay, and they're gonna look good is all I'm getting at. These are just some concepts that we kick around, but at the end of the day, you see that general in the middle, and you see, I mean, you even got some creative stuff going on with the alien, and got some special forces going on, little army tank action. So depending on the randomness of the mint, that'll dictate what type of NFT you get, and have fun with it. And but with that said, we would love to have you become a member of the BTR Army today, and so you can make a difference in the world of finance. So we would love for that. So at this point, we're going to pivot. And I'm going to first see if you have any questions on what I presented, and then from there I want to open it up generally to the AMA questions and bring Brando back into the fold. So how the AMA part can work, we have already some questions that was provided ahead of time, And we also know you have some questions that you may have here online that you want to ask. So we're going to kind of, do a couple questions we had ahead of time. Then we'll take what we got on the phone and kind of mix it up a little bit. So with that said, what are your questions on what I presented so far?
Anybody on Telegram, you guys can ask questions too. So Telegram and Zoom. Real quick, while you guys are figuring out your questions, we're going to be partaking in the private round of Hypercycle. Still very early, so it's private, not seed. Also, these NFTs will be one of one, so they're collector's items as well. There will not be any of the same NFTs, so that's a great thing for you and everybody else. So ask your questions. Telegram group, you're open to ask. Zoom call, you're open to ask. If we have no questions, that means
yeah, I have a question.
Okay, good.
Hi, Sean. Hello, everyone. You mentioned about KYC process. One will be on Discord, another will be on Cryptopia pre-sale website. This is the only two places for KYC, right?
No, the Discord link will take you to the pre-sale. The same pre-sale.
Okay.
Yes.
And once I do KYC there, I don't need to do another KYC in the Discord itself.
Good.
Okay.
Once you
So,
KYC, you're good. You have to KYC each individual NFT that you have. So if you, and that's another question to go along with your question. Yes, you can have more than one NFT. So if you wanted to have two generals or a general in the special forces or however you wanted to spin it, that is, you're able to do that.
But you could KFC, just make sure you send me crispy.
Good question.
Yeah. I gotta throw a joke in there every now and then.
Yeah, we got some music jokes and everything. What else we got? Anything else present according to the presentation? Going once, going twice. Okay, so now, Brando, I guess we can pivot and let's start our official AMA question.
Okay.
Okay.
Does somebody have a question on Zoom?
Yes, I have a question. I was wondering if you could transfer an NFT to your Ledger wallet.
Yes, you can. These NFTs can be transferred to any Ethereum wallet.
All right, Brando.
Yes.
All right. So how does the referral program work? Are details still waiting to be announced, or can you provide that now?
Sean?
Yes. Right now, we're not ready for that. But as soon as we are, we will present it. Right now, just anticipate NFTs to start. And we're, as soon as we got, the timing of the referral process identified, we will inform everybody. Because it may not start straight, right out the box. It may start, at a certain time. But we'll have more details here over the next couple of days.
So I understand the referral, it's just for the NFTs themselves, but would we, since we're sharing it outside of our community, will they also need to eventually be like a BTR Patreon member as well? Or is this just like to purchase those NFTs?
Yeah, they won't need to be a Patreon member per se. If you own an NFT, you're part of the BTR Army. That's how that's how it's being forged. Because we need BTR to be bigger so we can be more, so we can be more potent at the end of the day. So when we pull together additional forces, it's gonna be a win for everybody because we're creating buying power. But everybody, all NFT holders will be BTR Army. And then Brando, I don't know if you want to speak on the Patreon intricacies, because, I don't want to speak for that section.
Well, yeah, of course, there's going to be different groups. We're going to eventually merge everything over to Discord. because it's just easier to manage, and it's just a way smoother process. We can have individual channels, and everything doesn't have to be bombarded in Telegram. Telegram is great, but we got to get out of our comfort zone. When we talk about elevation, we got to go to higher altitudes. We got to do what we don't want to do so that we can do what we do want to do. And quite frankly, from a lot of communities within crypto, they all love Discord. So we're going to start to merge everybody over. If you're a Patreon member, we're still going to have that dedicated chat. But you got to understand too, being a part of the Bigger Than Race Patreon gives you the ability to have other insight information that you will not find anywhere on YouTube. I don't care who you are, where you've been at. It's just not out there. And, you know, a lot of the members have been with us in the Patreon group for years, and they can attest to the information that's shared there. So you would have insight information. You'd be open to another community within the community, and you'd just be able to elevate alongside in that group and get information and insights that you just wouldn't get in the BTR Army. Although we're all collectively together, but you know, there's individual groups. Like, what would you call it in the Army? Platoons, Sean? Or
we have different battalions.
Battalions.
So a battalion is just a company. So you got the BTR is a battalion. Entry Brigades is a battalion. Crypto Profit Takers is a battalion, and but all of them make a brigade that's focused on achieving the mission.
And all of it is bigger than race. So yes, that's what the Patreon will offer, and you know, we'll have a dedicated chat for the NFT holders of the BTR Army as well.
Yep.
So it'll all be broken down.
And on this site, this Discord channel, this is where you're gonna propose the new investments, or?
Yes, we'll have that there. We'll also hold the first AMA with our partners. Richie will be on there from Cryptopia, and just, you know, giving more confidence and solidifying everything we're talking to you today about. He's actually on this Zoom call here. And you know, after you see that, hopefully after this video, it confirms everything we've been talking about, and you know, you find out that we're really who we say we are, and we're credible within this space and industry, and only intend on leading people to the promised land. Because for me, you know, I've always been an underdog, and nobody ever looked out for me. I had to look out for myself. So I wanted to be able to help other individuals who are coming from that underdog state turn into a big dog. So this is the opportunity for us to do that.
And Brando, did Richie want to say a few words, or just sit back?
Yes,
and
I don't
okay.
know. Richie, you mind coming in on and blessing?
Yeah, of course, guys. Can you hear me okay?
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
Richie.
Good stuff, good stuff. Well, yeah, look, firstly, great to be working with you guys. And I was just saying to Brando a few minutes in the chat, I think it's great that you put this together as a kind of precursor, really, to give everyone the heads up on what it's all about and to really explain the benefits of doing it. I've been running a VC now for the last 18 months or so, and have been through this process a few times, and obviously been building up a lot of relationships during the last 4 or 5 months, particularly with SNet and all the team there. So I think you guys are coming in at a particularly good time, and also because we're edging closer and closer, I think, towards a bull cycle. You know, maybe still, you know, a year away. Who knows? Anyone's guess looking in a crystal ball, but it's certainly a lot closer than it was a year ago. And relationships are only getting stronger, and the projects that I'm working on over the next 3 or 4 months and beyond, are just getting more and more and more exciting. So you guys are coming on board at a really good time. When I say on board, this is entirely a bigger than race project. I'm just here to support and provide some of the infrastructure and the deal flow, but this is your your community, your project, your baby. But yeah, no, very much looking forward to working with you guys. I've been super impressed with the community and how professional everyone is. So yeah, I'm on hand to provide any help and support. And I'll certainly be able to organize things like AMAs directly with, the team members that, you guys will want to be speaking to. So CEOs of the SNet spin-offs, we may be able to get some of the Singularity Net team to do AMAs. We had a recent AMA with Janet Adams, who's the Chief Operating Officer, which was a fascinating AMA, actually talking a lot about the whole SNet ecosystem. But there will, of course, be other projects as well. It's not just SNet. Obviously at the moment, there's so much hot stuff coming out of that ecosystem that we're focusing a lot of time and attention on that. But of course, we're always working on other projects, and we will provide a nice mixture for you guys going forward as well.
Thank you so much for that, Richie. And I'm enthused, and I'm totally looking forward to working with you further as well. And just to piggyback on what he said about other projects, just so you guys know, they had Myria nodes before any of us got these nodes. We had to do 48, 72 hours work of messaging on Discord. The opportunity that we're providing you would just speed up any of that nonsense and get you right at the door, right at the table. So this is a beautiful opportunity. And I know we might have some more questions, but I want to just hold the questions for a second. And I just really want to tell you a little bit about who I am real quick. I know a lot of you know me, but some of you don't. And I just want to clarify up any misconceptions so you understand exactly from the horse's mouth who I am, and there is no hidden agenda. So here is me at the Singularity Net Symposium. This was back in 2020, 2021. Me with Ben Gore. So I know you because AI has jumped on the scene, but we've been in AI before all the noise. And people might think that this is artificially artificial AI generated. This is real. Okay, me and Ben Gortz are at the Singularity Symposium. Now, this is Singularity Studios website. Here's a friend of mine, Bill Inman, who I've developed a relationship with over the past couple of years. He's the CEO of Singularity Studio. He's also here on the Sophiaverse AI website. Bill Inman, head of marketing, CEO of Singularity Amplify. Now, I recently had an interview with Bill, and this is not even out yet. You guys are just getting this information and seeing it. And I just want to show you that everything we're talking about is legit. So you're going to get a sneak peek. There's some things in here I want you to hear real quick, just to confirm everything that I just showed you and talked about, everything you heard with Richie, and everything that we're presenting you here. So stay tuned for a second.
Hey everybody, Bill Inman here, back again with you on another episode of Change, where we spell it CHAINGE, and we inform you about how AI is changing the world and how you can leverage AI instead of be afraid of it to make your business better and make your life better. So I'm really excited today to have an interview with Brando Murphy, who's on the call. Brando and I met in 2021, and just a super charismatic guy, super knowledgeable on technology, and really building community around technology using his skill set, but also really intent on just helping people and educating people. Because there's so much change in the world today, whether it be AI or blockchain or other types of technology, robotics, automated driving, what have you. And Brando is up to speed on that. He started the company Bigger Than Race, LLC. I think it was a few years ago, Brandon, is that correct?
Yeah, that happened in 2019.
Okay, yeah, and since I first met with you in 2021, boy, has it grown a lot. He has his media channel that he is very active in. He has a community that follows him to help follow what's trending, what do they need to know, where do they need to go with their lives and with technology. And then he also curates a very small group of, I guess you call it VIPs, that he advises for technology as well. So before he started this journey, which we both shared many similar thoughts on, just about around that Specifically, Brando came to an event I was holding in LA that had Grace the Robot there and Dr. Ben Goertzel. So he had already been following Dr. Ben Goertzel, who many of you know as the father of artificial general intelligence for some time. And it was great to put them two together. And Brando has been very active in that SingularityNet community since.
Okay, so you heard that. Now let's fast forward. This will be coming out within the next week. You'll get to see it all. But I just wanted to cure up any doubts, just so you know we are who we say we are.
Get those specific groups together and have peace. That's a wonderful world. It's anything's possible. But when you think bigger than race, what technology is doing now is progressing so fast that it could even be beyond the human race at some point when you look at it from the higher perspective, and that we're all one. Yeah. By the way, there's a message in that, and I like that about your message. Appreciate it. And you know what, the advancements we're seeing with artificial intelligence, with blockchain technology, cryptocurrency, AR, VR, metaverse, which you're at the forefront of, are changing so fast. I mean, this year has been a whirlwind in AI. So with that in mind, whether it be blockchain or crypto or AI, you know, what projects are you excited about? What are you working on these days?
Well, I'm excited about a lot of different things. Of course, you know, everything coming out of the SingularityNet ecosystem. I'm really excited about that. But most importantly, I'm excited about continuing to bring value with my company, Bigger Than Race. Since then, I've been doing a lot of speaking engagements and getting the word out at these different conferences all over the world. And I'm really excited about getting my presence out there a lot more, so that people actually know we exist, that this community is here. So we've been really focusing on marketing the community and doing certain things, giving value in ways that other communities aren't. So we have a NFT project that is pretty much coming out to help individuals partake in seed round allocations that they normally wouldn't get opportunities to really take part in. You have your seat at the 1% table, so to speak. So we're working diligently behind the scenes with that. And that is something I'm extremely happy about, because it's just so much value. And people really don't understand the opportunity of these seed investments within blockchain technology. So I'm excited. So you heard that. We spoke about that there. And this is the last little bit, and then we'll carry on.
So lucky to be able to see this change happening to get to where we are. It's almost like I understand the DNA of it. And thank you for the acknowledgement. You're right. I mean, I don't have millions of followers. I think that the cream rises to the top, and you stress truth and where we're going is important. I know I'm getting there. I've been focused in my career on, like, how do we take these companies and make them successful from ground up?
Absolutely.
And that's been a valuable lesson. So you take growing up with it, being in the startup environment since I was a kid. I'm ready and poised to work with people like you, Brandon, to get that message out there. So
no, 100%. And you know, I want to also thank you because, well, I know I thanked you before, but thank you for the introduction to meeting Dr. Ben Goertzel, because that was major to see him in person. And you know what's so funny? I have individuals who see that picture because, you know, AI is taking on to another level. They think the picture is fake. So, you
were there, Brando. I was there with you.
Yes, let them know I was there, and I was next to who is to become like the likes of the next Steve Jobs. And you know, people are in for a shock if they think that this stuff is not really happening, because it's moving faster than you think. And I really feel like we're in for a shock in regards to how fast the growth of artificial intelligence is going to come and happen by 2025.
That's just a few short months.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look at it. Here we are. We're almost, you know, we're middle of April now.
All right. So that is me. I've been in crypto since late 2016. And have been working diligently for the last 7 years. So hard that now in the 7th year, I have this opportunity at my fingertips to continue to help the communities and other communities and people around the world elevate. So if you have a doubt in your mind, if this is a fraud or scam, understand this. There's situations that happen in our lives. We get scammed out of money. And we now have trauma that has impacted us. And we can take that trauma into other situations, other relationships. And we would think that what has happened then will happen now. Well, I got news for you. If you continue to live your life like that, you will miss out on opportunities that will change your life. One of my sayings is never judge a book by its cover, because that book will open up a chapter that can change your life. And I'd like to think I'm chapter 10, and I'm changing a whole lot of lives, and we already have, and we will continue to do so. So that's all I wanted to say. Let's get back to the AMA questions, if anybody has any. Sean, take it away.
Yes, Brando, I appreciate you presenting that, because you just answered about 10 questions just by presenting that video. And yeah, so I think we're good on that, because there was lots of questions about your relationship, the relationship with SingularityNet, with Cryptopia, and other things. But I think we just, paid homage to a picture's worth 1,000 words. So we just knocked out a bunch of questions right off the bat. So other than that, I'm gonna pivot and just see the other questions that's naturally out in the audience. And then I have a host that has already been written, but I'll see what we come up with first. So questions, what do we have?
I have a question.
We have a Telegram group question, and then the Zoom call can pursue. You guys can ask. Go ahead, Telegram.
Did you say when the NFTs were actually going on sale?
We did not give a launch date.
Okay.
We're looking to launch sometime next week.
Okay.
And we'll give you the best advance notice we can.
Yes, you will have advance notice for sure.
Already. Thank you.
But let today serve as your advance. Get ready today. I would urge you.
Yes.
When the day, if you get ready the day of, hey, we BTRARMY.
You should always have a full tank of gas in your car.
On time is late. And if you're late, the hospital don't show up to the party. So early is on time in the world of a BTRARMY soldier. Good question.
Think of this like the next apocalypse. You need to have a full tank of gas. Yeah.
What else we got?
A practical question. So we will mint the NFTs and buy them to the MetaMask as you recommended, and then we will do a KYC, and that's all good. What platform will we be using for the investments? Is it the Cryptopia?
Yeah, the Discord will contain the links that will take you to pre-sale. Pre-sale site.
It'll be a subdomain website of Cryptopia.
Okay, so we invest allocations. So if it's 5,000 or 750, doesn't matter, but we invest them through this site. And will we be holding anything ourselves, or will everything be like centralized and you will hold it?
No, nothing of this is centralized. You're good. That's why when you do sign up, you're going to be giving your wallet information so that the tokens are given to you on TGE date, and then also over time, over the vesting period, those tokens will trickle down into your wallet. So we don't have control over anything. All we're here to do is to present the opportunity, be the backbone, the foundation for you to stand upon, and we move how we're supposed to move. So you make sure you give the right addresses and things of that nature so that you can get your tokens.
Brando, should I just quickly mention about on the process so everyone's clear on it? So we actually use a great, thank you. Sorry to jump in, but I thought it might be useful. So we use a third party called Presale, which is PRESAIL. You can go and check them out. Just Google pre-sale crypto and they'll pop straight up on Google. So they are the industry leading fundraising platform for Web3. So they have created a very nice system, both on the front end and the back end, that allows us to completely manage the process of fundraising and for any cryptocurrency project. So as the guy said a moment ago, you will receive a unique link. You have to make sure that you have the NFT in the wallet you're going to use to contribute the funds. That's another important thing to note as well, to make sure that it can recognize that you are indeed an NFT holder. And then you make a contribution. It's very, very simple once you've gone through the KYC. And then you have full access to be able to see all the investments that you've made, what stage the vesting is at, i.e. so when the tokens have been distributed to you, what percentage have been distributed. So you've got all that information at your fingertips. But also whenever you've made an investment, you'll get an email confirmation through as well. So at any point, you can see exactly where you are. And also, just very importantly, all the funds are held in a multi-signature wallet. So when you contribute via the platform, they go into a multi-sig wallet until then the funds are sent to the project once the contract's been signed, right? So your funds are safe in a multi-signature wallet. Basically, unless, 3 or more wallets somehow get hacked simultaneously, there's no way that money can be lost. So we're very security conscious, never had any breaches or any issues in the whole time that we've been running. And obviously all of that's on the blockchain. So you can see exactly where the money's being sent directly to the project. You can track all of that on the blockchain. So there's full transparency in that process too.
Thank you.
Yeah, good stuff, good stuff. And that leads to another question for those who plan on getting more than one NFT. And Richie, correct me if I'm wrong, but the recommendation that we're making is each NFT ultimately needs to be in a separate wallet for a smooth interface versus having the NFTs in the same wallet trying to do multiple transactions.
Yes, exactly that. So if you, it may be in the future that we are able to have single wallet stacking, but we don't have that tech in place at the moment. So if you did want to have more than one NFT and then get obviously, double or triple or whatever the allocation, you would need to have separate wallets for each of those NFTs, correct? Yeah.
There you go. So 3 NFTs, 3 wallets, or 3 addresses, 3 wallet addresses.
But to add to that, it's 1 tier 1 and 1 tier 2 per wallet, or is it just 1 NFT per wallet, regardless of it?
I would take advantage of Richie on that particular question, but I would,
Yeah, so yeah, you can have the 2 different types in one wallet. But only one of each. Yeah. So yes, you can have a general and special forces in the same wallet, no problem.
All right. So my guess would have been right, but rather hear it straight from the horse's mouth. Good question. Good question. Thank you for that.
But it is easy to have multiple wallets, as we know, and
Yep.
still have multiple generals if that's what you want to do.
Absolutely.
Okay, so if we have to say we provide like a Cardano wallet or something, is there a way to edit, like change out a Cardano wallet after investing? Like say I put it on the Yoroi wallet, but I want to move it to Eternal. Is there a way to edit that?
For the NFT?
Yes. Yeah. There is.
Yeah, for the seed round, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, to get the tokens once they launch.
Yeah. So yeah, just very quickly. Yes. So the answer is yes on that one. So you can change any of the details on the receiving wallet address, whether that be Cardano or otherwise, up until the point the distribution starts, right? So basically we'll keep that option open, but as soon as the token generation starts and we've done the first distribution, or probably 24 hours before, when we'll lock everything down, you're free to go into your profile and change any of your details up until that point. That's another one of the advantages of using pre-sale, is that the user experience from your side is very slick and user friendly.
Beautiful.
So here's a read ahead question. How does the team evaluate projects for potential ROI to invest in? And simply put, is, there are people working behind the scenes that research and evaluate the project, and they're getting thoroughly vetted by not only Richie, but others that's on the team. Also in our community, we'll be doing that same process. So it's going to be looked at multiple times before we, say, hey, this is something we recommend to invest in, or for us to be more of a recommendation, but or just present it to us in the first place at all. So we're looking at the team. Is this a one-man show, or is this like a 25-man business that's running an operation here? We're looking at a marketing analysis. We're doing a product analysis. We're doing a technical analysis. We're doing, the community analysis. Is the community motivated and excited about the product? All that stuff counts. And typically it might be anywhere between 15 to 20 different aspects of a project that has been evaluated before it even gets presented to us, to make sure that we have the best possible outcome, experience with what we're investing in. And that's, so that answers that question.
To piggyback on that, Sean, real quick, I just wanted to bring up Michael, because he's going to be assisting with some of that
Yes.
going forward. So I thought that might have been a good segue just to plug him really quick.
Yeah, I plan on doing a recording too. Like, they're gonna walk me through the process, and I'll do a screen recording of the entire thing. But yeah, I'm excited about this. And as I said,
where are you from?
Michael, I run the Intrepid Gains community. I've been in crypto for 10 years. I became financially independent through crypto. And as I said to, my followers, my group, the Intrepid Gains group, the path to becoming financially independent, this is 10 years of experience speaking, is getting in early. And that's what this is allowing you to do. Like, you want to get in early and you want to hold quality projects with good teams, good backgrounds, and they're going to capture market. Or it looks like, from your research, it looks like they're going to capture market, and they're going to do good things. You want to get there right when they're beginning. And that's what this brings. So from my 10 years of experience, this is it. This is the kind of opportunity you're looking for. If you're looking, to find the path to success. That's what I've been able to get free from having to work for others. And this is where it leads to these kind of opportunities. People ask me all the time, if I have $10,000, what would I do with it? Well, if I was starting fresh, this is exactly where I'd be. I'd be in this community. I'd be working to get an NFT, and then trying to put allocations in these projects that are coming out. And I will provide videos to make it easy for newcomers, new to crypto, etc. I'll do screen recordings, etc. And I'll also be in the Discord with the my own NFT pass, and I'll provide a record of how well this NFT is going to perform against the market. I'm expecting good things. That's just the way I see it. So I'm excited to be here.
No, I'm happy that you're on the team, and I'm excited to see your efforts be put to great use and bring value to everybody in the community. So yeah, that's Michael, everybody. Sean, if you'd like to take it away.
Yes. So I'll just bounce it right back out to the audience who may have some additional questions.
Hey, so before the Cogito investment, this was the first time that this offer, it was presented at the BTR table. And I know that Sean, you mentioned you were in Cryptopia for like nearly a year.
Earlier this year. Okay. Starting this year.
Okay, so what I want to know is how was this concept developed? Who first created this? Because it seems like there's many communities starting to latch on to this seed round investing and via NFTs. Is this like a new concept, or like how long? When was it first created, and who started it? you know, and then there's going to be, it seems to be more and more communities over time.
Yeah,
You know,
I'll speak lightly on it, but I think we need to take advantage of Richie being here because he's the where all this stuff came from. But what I noticed, to kind of touch on what you said, is I seen two other communities, only the two other ones, and they had large followings, very large followings. And they were able to pull this off. But what I'm seeing, being a member of Cryptopia and experiencing just nothing but amazing results, I saw opportunity for BTR specifically, because I know the quality and caliber and just the passion on in that community. And so I was like, let me see if I can bring an ideal to the table that Brando, Richie, and others can rally around and pump some life into, provided we can not only take that small community, but also pair it up with some other, some other communities and have a a shot at what they're doing with their big community, if that makes sense. But as far as the overall detail of what you're saying, I think Richie, if you heard that question, I think you'd be better suited to touch on that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah, happy to. So I think the concept of being able to access some kind of early stage investment, whether that be seed, private, or in some cases like an IDO round, like a launchpad round, has been around for for some time now, in different different formats. I think one of the biggest differences that Cryptopia has, and therefore our partners can benefit from, is that we don't use a tokenized system for it. So what you would have seen, if you go back to the height of the bull run and you take some of the big launch pads, and SDAO will be included in that, is that people were spending tens of thousands of dollars on tokens to get the access to these seed investment opportunities, or in fact they probably would have been later stages. And then, of course, you're then in the hands of the market as to what the value of those tokens is, and in some cases there's huge supplies, huge circulating supplies, and pretty much every single one of them crashed, down by 80-90%, and people have lost huge amounts of value. So, then you're in a situation that you've spent, let's say, $15,000-$20,000 to get an allocation. And also very important to note that the allocation sizes are still very small. If you can go ahead, and you mentioned it earlier on, guys, about looking at SDAO, I think the highest allocation that you'll probably get there is probably in the region of $2,000. It might be a bit more for some projects and maybe a little bit less for others, depending on their total allocation. But usually, people are paying, $5,000 to $10,000 to get maybe $500 or $600 worth of allocation, and then all your tokens have lost value by 90%. And so you're in a situation where, unless you've had some, some absolute bangers, you're probably going to be, at break even at best. So that was the flaw, and that's really what we have seen, identified, and done something about. And I think the other part of it is not getting greedy, right? You could have a collection of 10,000 NFTs and get really greedy, but of course allocations would have to shrink, because you can't get unlimited allocations for these projects. They're exclusive, right? They're limited. So not being greedy with it, and also working with the right partners is very, very important. So this, I'm pretty sure, will be the last partnership that we'll be able to do of this nature, because we just don't have enough allocation left to go around now. We want to make sure that everyone who who buys the NFT and is guaranteed the allocation gets what they paid for. That's that's the most important thing. So you guys are probably going to be at the tail end of us being able to offer any more of these types of deals, because let's say we get, I don't know, $1 million or $1.5 million allocation maximum. And this is, the relationship that we have with Singularity Net means that we can get those sizes of allocations. We're already doing, like for Hypercycle, we already raised 1.3 million, which is the single highest investor in that project. We can't just keep adding on, because it's going to get to a point where we have to say, oh, sorry, guys, you can't have your allocation anymore. And then we're going to have a lot of very unhappy people on our hands, right? So, that's the other thing, is keeping it exclusive, making sure that the greed doesn't take over. And that's a big part of it. So, yeah, in answer to the question, the concept's been around for a while, but, doing it in this manner has been has been fed, I think, from the experience and the failures, I think, of other platforms that have done something or tried to do something similar and have gone about it the wrong way, in my personal opinion.
So thank you for that, Richie. It takes us back to Michael Jackson's last documentary. This is it. It's why we've been saying that all along. So yeah, you know, honestly, this is truly a blessing. It's truly a blessing. And I know as we move into the 4th and 5th industrial revolution, and it's happening sooner than we think, we are on the precipice of change. And everything has been lining up in divine timing at the right time. And all of us who are coming together, who can actually see the vision, because we talk to many people in our lives about crypto and blockchain and where it's headed. And they can't seem to see the vision that we see. And the vision is not for everybody else. It's for us who have been blessed to have the vision. And hopefully you're able to see the vision, because when opportunities knock at your door, everybody says, oh, I want to be a millionaire. When this opportunity comes, I'm just going to jump on it. Well, the opportunity is here now. So do you really want to be that millionaire? Because these are opportunities that can help you be that. They say, show me your 5 closest friends and I'll show you your future. I deal with nothing but a bunch of millionaires and people who are on that frequency to keep elevated. And this is what we're going to do coming together. We're going to elevate together. And this is an exclusive opportunity. And you've heard it from the horse's mouth, from Richie of Cryptopia, that this is it. So you've seen every bit of confirmation that anyone can give you to help give you the confidence to make your next move your best move. The only person standing in front of your goals and dreams is you. Because at this point, we're giving you everything that we can give you. People ask, oh, how are you making money? How do you make money when you build a company up? You work for somebody else? You do a task, you do a service. I'm teaching my daughter about goods and services, how money is used. You provide a good or a service. You go get your barber cut, you go to the barber shop, you get a haircut, you pay that barber. You don't ask him, what you doing with the money? No, he's doing what he got to buy supplies. He has to do things to continue to elevate the business, because it's not about greed here. It's about the perpetuation of elevation. And you have to pour into the business. You got to get the fuel to light the fire. And we've been fueling it for the last 7 years. And we're going to keep adding more fuel to it. So there's going to be a lot of good things that we're going to do with some of this money. We may build up little funds for certain fees so that we can continue to use that for the betterment of all involved in this community and the BTR Army. So it's not about money. Money is the byproduct. But what this is about us coming together collectively and moving as a true army, because we're greater together than we are separately. Think about this. Put your finger on your hand and see how flimsy that is. Now you turn that into a fist. This is how I want to move throughout crypto in the world. So join this fist, because it's a bunch of us that make up this fist, and see the promised land together, because it's here. Many of us are touching it. Now let's touch it some more together.
I'm going to buy one. I believe in you, Brando. That's the reason I'm buying one.
I appreciate that, Gregorio. And you know, I'm big on integrity and remaining authentic to who I am. So I appreciate that.
Well, Brando, this is this has been I thought Hypercycle was bullish, but finding out that this is it. I'm just repeating it again because it's that important.
Thank you, Sean.
This is it. If you, everybody's seen Rocky. before Apollo went out to fight the Russian. This is it.
Yeah, nah, and that's bullish news in itself. And I just looked through the chat. We are confirmed for Hypercycle private sale. So I just had the KYC done the other day, and I don't even have to go and do that. So this is amazing. You know, and you know, I know Sean is thrilled, and I know Richie is thrilled. That project alone is just
I'm gonna put this in perspective. A lot of you may not be up to speed on Hypercycle, but I'm just, you know, I'm not trying to overhype it, but it's probably gonna sound like that. But if all we offered was access to Hypercycle and that was it, I still would say this is it. Okay, and I would highly encourage you to invest just for that reason alone, provided you would be able to put a good chunk into it, because that's a very bullish and powerful project. And it's so powerful, I purposely didn't even talk about it in my Telegram. And I barely mentioned it because you got to stay focused on the NFT if you want to really have a long-term approach to to investing at the level we're talking about. But now, yeah, with the ability to become, you know, partake in this and have a new leash on life on Hypercycle, doesn't get better than that. So congratulations for those who already made their mind up. And for those who, at this point, if you on this call, or you eventually circle back around and listen to this recording, I'm not entertaining much skepticism and doubt at this point. I've already had enough iterations of it, and we've showed you what we showed you. At this point, it's just a matter of making a decision for yourself. And if you're going to take a risk, this is the kind of risk you want to take. But all the comments and jokes and all that, that's out the window now. We were patient. We showed you video of Bill Inman. We provided you Richie and other things. And so at this point, I really hope that most of the you know, doubt and fear or whatever it might be, we are still here to answer questions. But I think it's only fair, some of this stuff that we were, you know, experiencing prior to, I think we just, you know, clearly soothed that to a degree. But it's always something. So keep your questions coming, and we appreciate the questions. But at this point, I think we've done our part in on the presentation side. It's always more risk when you start early or you find out. So I can, you know, understand for those who want to sit back on the sidelines, that's fine. But, you know, this is going to do what it does. People who see the light, they're going to come. We're confident. We're not worried about doing a bunch of extravagant marketing. No need to. It speaks for itself. You know, once you have your experience, you're going to tell somebody.
Yes, 100%. And this will be one of those opportunities. Firstly, let me say this, because we always say this. I've been saying this since time immemorial. We will make this money with or without you, but I would hope it's with you, because we can do a lot more things collectively together. But this is one of those opportunities that you will sit back as we progress to 2030, 2040. Your grandkids will be asking you, gee, grandpa, grandma, where were you when all this was going on? Nowhere. That's Dan Pena. Where were you? What did you do? You had the opportunities, but you chose not to take advantage because you might have judged the appearance of somebody. We need to move past that. We're moving into the AI era. Well, things that you think is one thing, but it's something totally different. Here I am, masked off. You can Google me, you can look me up in all forms and fashions. I'm really who I am. So let's continue to keep building. Let's motivate, encourage. Let's grow. Let's impact and change our lives, our kids' lives, the generations to come after us, because it's what we do today that sets us up for tomorrow. And like Michael Jackson says, this is it. So we don't have to continue on this unless anybody else has any other questions. We'll provide a question breakdown if that's what you guys need, and we can answer them. Like Sean said, we're here to answer anything. But I think this Zoom call has done what it's supposed to do, which is to bring insightful information and confirm any questions that you might have had lingering, and to clear up any doubts. So I don't want to
have
any
Can
more.
I have one last question?
Yes.
It's directed to Richie, if possible. I was looking into the Cryptopia website, and there are multiple collaborations with different crypto companies shown, like SingularityNet, multiple times mentioned Hypercycle. But whenever you go to any of those projects and try to find the reverse information that they are collaborating with Cryptopia, I couldn't find anything. For example, from SingularityNet or Hypercycle, both of them have no information that they are collaborating with Cryptopia. Maybe you could direct me where I could find some kind of official statements that yes, there.
Well, you can
was
go
some
on
kind of
Twitter.
collaboration.
Go on Twitter also. They're following Cryptopia's group from the direct main social media account. So that's one way, and then I'll let Richie take it away from there.
Also, Hypercycle on their Telegram.
Yeah, I mean, well, so there's been an official partnership announcement for every SingularityNet project that we've been involved with, and that's come directly from the project. So if you go onto the Twitter accounts for Hypercycle, I'll find the tweets actually. I'll send them over in the BTR group so you guys can have a look at that. So from the Hypercycle, Rejuve, and Cogito Twitter accounts, you'll see that they posted. I think with Rejuve and Hypercycle, there was also accompanying Medium articles as well. In fact, I was looking at one earlier on. I'll drop it over in the chat in a few minutes' time. So yeah, if you look a little bit harder, you'll definitely find them there. And also on a recent update, I think it was the March date for SingularityNet, which Janet Adams hosts. It's on their YouTube channel. She actually thanked me personally for the work that I was doing with SingularityNet on that video, which went out to the full, well, just publicly available on the SingularityNet YouTube channel. So there's plenty of ways to authenticate their relationship. And if you wanted to reach out to Janet Adams directly and ask the nature of our partnership, I'm sure she'd be delighted to confirm that as well.
Thank you.
Sean, I got a question for you. What's the drawback of holding a tier 2 NFT?
Less allocation.
Less allocation, okay, but still a lifetime.
And it's also first come, first serve.
Of course.
Yeah, so
But that's already like you've been already.
Yeah, but I think the advantages would be, again, it's more in line with what you see on the SDAO Launchpad, but it's you don't have to put as much financial effort to get the $750 allocation. And I think that the Special Forces 750 version, great opportunity for those easing into the process. They may have a lot of money, but they're still easing into this aspect of investing. But
okay,
for
great.
Season, know what they want and got it. Hey, general.
Perfect, thanks. And Brando, are we still on with the BTR DAO that you said last call that the first 100 will get the NFTs for that?
Yes, the BTR Investment Club. We're gonna drop that term down only because I was told I should move in a different direction in regard to naming because we've been operating out of the US. But yes, the BTR Investment Club NFTs will be airdropped to the first 100 buyers of the general tier 1 or the special ops tier 2 NFTs. So that is another incentive that is also going to be offered, and we'll have separate things going on for the BTR Investment Club, and that will only be limited to 100 people, no more, no less.
Right. And-
Perfect, thanks.
Right, and that goes to one of the actual questions that were was a write-in. That's the additional things the additional utilities that your NFT will create. Okay, you got the investment club, and that alone can be a rabbit hole as it evolves and grows and turn into a source of residual income for you. So another passive play, because that investment club can be focused on nodes. It can be focused on, other AI projects, the sky's the limit. So we're going to create this hive mind of this community. We've got a lot of smart people in this community, and we're going to create a hive mind, and we're going to do the best moves possible as we navigate, in finance.
Yes, and just to add to what you just said, let's navigate from the term passive income, and we'll earn digital rewards. And I was also told about that, just as we move forward. So we'll be earning digital rewards. And if you know how these nodes operate, they produce digital rewards.
Yes, and I appreciate that. And thank you for saying that, because, the terminology is important. And I'm glad you said that for all to hear. So digital rewards is what was meant. And as we all grow together in this community, we're going to, be privy to information that needs to stay inside of the group for the integrity of the group. Okay, and so when you do invite somebody to partake in the community, make sure it's a good addition to the team. Okay, because we're not here to be ultra transparent in terms to the whole world. Hey, this is what we're doing. We answer every question. Nope. You want to know what's going on. You have to have an NFT, and you got to be, and be part of the team. So, but yes, digital rewards.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And no sour apples. We're looking to vibrate on the right frequency with like-minded individuals. So, just keep that in mind.
Yes, and one more thing, this is important, because at the end of the day, we are here to support you, us, BTR Army. We're not here for others. So promoting other, competition, all that stuff, hey, we don't have time for that at this point. Yes, there's other things to compare it with, but at the end of the day, let's stay focused on just building this community if you believe in it.
Yes, let's stay focused on building this community. Cryptopia is a partner, but from here on, this is a bigger than race project, and we're going to continue to evolve just like that. We'll have Richie at our disposal when needed, and I think we can go ahead and wrap this thing up.
Yeah, I had one more question, Brandon.
Sure.
Yeah, you had mentioned that Bigger Than Race would get a run at it at the NFTs first. Is that for people that helped donate for the art and stuff like that?
Yeah, we're gonna make sure that of course, I'm loyal to the Bigger Than Race Patreon group first. So I'm gonna make sure that you guys can get ample time to purchase these NFTs before anybody else, because it's only right. So yes, that's going to happen.
A quick question to Richie or Sean. How much per token on for the hypercycle at seed round?
We won't give that info out right now.
Okay.
We'll get to that when it's time. But you'll get that information very soon, unless Richie wants to drop some alpha. I don't know.
Yeah, let me confirm it all to Brando first and make sure that he's happy with everything, and let him share when he's ready to do that. I think that'd probably be the best plan What I would just one thing I would add, which is kind of on that point really, and it's obviously absolutely fine that you've asked in this environment, but one of the kind of main rules that we have is that no information about deals ever gets shared outside of the private community. That is particularly important for things like tokenomics and yeah, just really kind of any information, you know, unless we've explicitly said that it's okay to share it, because if it gets mentioned on, you know, random Telegram groups or Discord communities, and it gets back that information has been in any way leaked, it can jeopardize relationships and actually the whole deal. You know, we've had occasions when, you know, the whole deal has been threatened to be pulled because information has been inadvertently leaked. It's not like someone's gone out maliciously to try and, you know, do something. It's not about that. It's more just about being mindful that, you know, these are exclusive opportunities and therefore they must remain private, and all the details shared also must remain private as well. It's an important point just so everyone's aware going into, you know, any agreement, or if you do decide you're going to mint an NFT.
Thank you.
Yeah, and since the communities are growing, there is a greater risk of, like, you know, some bad apples getting into these into our communities. Is there going to be like any NDNs that we may need to sign, at least for the NFT holders going forward, for confidentiality?
You know, I mean, that is a good, it's actually something to think about, honestly. But I'll talk to Richie about that behind the scenes and see if that's even what's needed. But, you know, hopefully everybody can be big boys and big girls and respect the opportunity and respect the, you know, the integrity of what we're doing here going forward. Because, you know, I'm not afraid of removing any bad apples. I've done that. But money is a byproduct, you know. Mainly it's more so about keeping the frequency of the community. So let's everybody put the big boy pants on and big girl pants on, and, you know, hopefully we don't have to, you know, go down that road, but just keep it private. I mean, people don't believe in what you're telling them anyways about crypto. So what are we gonna go talk about these opportunities for? They're gonna only call you crazy. He think you're getting there with big guns. You're talking to that little Brando Murphy with the fake Ben Gortzel picture. That's not real. Come on, man. Let's just keep it how we have it. You know, I don't even think we even need to go down that road. But, you know, if we feel we need to, then, you know, maybe we'll do that. But I'm hoping everybody is of the maturity level to keep this private.
Right, and we'll stress that as a team throughout, just as reminders, because it'd be, you know, maybe a question, hey, can I share this, can I not? So we'll be sticklers for that, especially in the beginning, to make sure everybody's transitioning properly. So you know, me and Brando has enough observations and experience at this point to know what's sensitive, and Richie, we'll do our best to make sure no leaks.
Awesome, thanks guys.
Cool. I know I've tried to close this thing out 3 times. When we say, do you guys want questions? Nobody talks. As soon as I'm about to close out, I got another question. Another question.
Hey, when you said this is it.
Right. So look, is there any other questions? Please.
Yeah, I think we got information overload at this moment with all this bullish information.
Yes. No, it's really
A lot of meat on that bone.
All right, guys. So good. Looks like there's no further questions. I personally, I want to just thank everybody for partaking. A lot of people stayed on for the remaining of the call, and I personally just want to thank you. And for those of you who partake in this opportunity, I mean, give yourself a pat on the back, even for you just to be on this call. There's a calling on your life. Sometimes we may not understand how, why, when, how things shape, unfold into our lives, but there's bigger reasons than we know. That's why we call it bigger than race. So I want to thank you. We'll have this recorded. The recorded video will be out. I'll make sure that you can actually see everything because we had some visuals on there. Stay tuned for further announcements. Until then, investigate truth on your own terms. Have a good weekend, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, matter of fact, there you go.
Yes.
All right.
Thanks
Blessings.
for your hard work.
God bless.
Everybody have a great
Body
day.
blessed.
Bless.
Thank you for coming on, Richie.
As we say in the military, one team, one fight.
Exactly. Sir, yes, sir.